welcome to Love, Light, and Learn TV. My name is Trician-Renée Love. That's right, I'm a caring adult, so you can just call me Miss Love. Well, as you can see, I'm already at the soulful sofa, and I have on my regal reading glasses, and today is really special because I have a guest coming in to tell us something that's really important. Are you ready to listen? Amazing, so am I. Sit tight.
I'm a mechanical and energy engineer in training. It basically means that for the mechanical side that I design or help to design the parts of buildings that provide heating, cooling, and fresh air to the people inside in order to create spaces where they can be healthy and comfortable and productive. And it also means on the energy side that I'm trying to make the solutions that I find use the lowest amount of energy and also have the lowest impact on the environment. A lot of people say that they knew they wanted to do something from a very young age. I can't say that in this case. What I wanted to be when I was younger is probably completely different. I can't remember what it was. But I knew in high school that I liked math and I liked sciences. And from there I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but I wanted to keep my options open. So I think I had studied health sciences in CEGEP, which was basically that stage right after high school in Quebec. And when I went into university, after doing, I think it was an apprenticeship at a dentistry clinic, I realized maybe that wasn't for me. And I basically went into architecture because I thought it could be a way for me to combine the creative side of me as well as the science side of me. But for that particular program, it was designing buildings, and it was a lot more focused on the artistic side. And that's when I realized, okay, I love architecture and it's always going to be a part of me, but near the end of my degree I was like, there has to be something else. There has to be a way for me to take my love of buildings, which I really had enjoyed in architecture. I really learned to appreciate working from the artistic side of designing buildings. But as I was studying, part of me really wanted to learn more about the how and the why things work. So I ended up pursuing building engineering. And from there, that degree that I had done in building engineering had basically opened me up to basically all the disciplines related to buildings. It was mechanical, it was electrical, it was basically working with acoustics and lighting, so many different branches. And in that degree, I really found that the mechanical side was what I wanted to do. The thing that I like most about my career is actually probably the thing that is most challenging about it, is the fact that when I do help to design buildings, every building is different. I'm using the same approach to design it, the mechanical systems for the building, but we can design schools, offices, community centers, and they can be different sizes, they can be for different amounts of people. You have to take a lot of factors into account. And they use different systems in order to heat and cool. So I like the diversity that you can find. It's not just you're doing the same thing over and over again. You're being challenged every day. And I'm always learning every day. The learning didn't stop in university. It keeps going as you keep working. Challenges in my work, I try to approach it from a very organized way. I try to ask the right questions. I try to get the right people involved, get the right resources that can help me overcome that challenge. But there's other things that I also have to overcome, which for me, sometimes I get butterflies in my stomach. I get like a feeling of, can I do this? I get those little questions of self-doubt sometimes of, do I know enough to do this? Am I smart enough to do this? But I always have to go over the things that I've accomplished so far, and I think that's true for everyone. You've done so much to get to where you are, and you have to remember that. And that can help you overcome a lot of challenges, especially when it's in the design world where it's a big question mark of how am I going to get this done if it's something new. If I don't understand something, I like to ask a lot of questions. I like to do my research. I work hard to find those answers. I don't know, it's something that I just like to do. It makes me happy to find answers to things I don't understand. And when it comes to taking on any kind of goal, I find that I'm very self-motivated. I take initiative. I'll start a project. No one has to push me to get going. I get going on my own. And I find that when I usually take something on, I take it on from a positive mindset. So yeah, I think those are my strengths. In terms of weaknesses, I would say it's that butterfly feeling that I talked about before. Those little bits of self-doubt that get into your mind. Yeah. When those things happen, I just I go back to the things that I've done in my life, the challenges that I've faced and gotten through. And that's another thing. When you face a challenge, you have successes, and sometimes there are mistakes or failures, but they're so important to both of them, to the learning process. And I would say that you can learn from your successes, but you can learn from getting something right. But getting something right the first time, you realize what worked, but there is something extra that not getting it the first time gives you. That trying and trying and trying again, seeing the things that don't work, I almost feel like you become more familiar with the problem. And the next time you come across it, I feel like because you had those mistakes along the way, it kind of built up maybe even a bigger toolkit than if you had got it right the first time. So yeah, don't be afraid to make mistakes. I nurture that curiosity I talked about by reading books and articles as well, listening to podcasts that are interesting. I like to listen to a lot of radio. That's fun. The way that I overcome my weaknesses, or my weakness, that self-doubt that comes into my mind sometimes, is by, one, remembering everything that I've accomplished so far, and that it wasn't easy, and that I made it through. And two, by surrounding myself with people who inspire me and motivate me, and support me and remind me of what I can accomplish and who I am, and the fact that whatever the voice is telling me, a lot of it's not true. A lot of it is just me being my biggest critic. I think a lot of people in my life motivate and inspire me. And it's not just the typical famous role models that you think of. I mean, I think it's anyone who is willing to try something new, is brave enough to try something new. And also people who have that mindset that the mistakes they've made in life or the failures they've had in life are not setbacks, but just learning opportunities. And that's a lot of people. And I've found inspiring people in my everyday life, my mom, my dad, my sister, a lot of family members, and a lot of colleagues. And a lot of friends. Yeah, there's a lot of places to find inspiring and motivating people. I would say that I define success as waking up every morning and approaching the day with a positive mindset, and at the end of it knowing that you did your best. And that for me is success. You showed up and you were prepared and you did your best. So one book that I read recently that I would recommend is called Brazen: Rebel Ladies Who Rock the World. It's written by Penelope Bagier. It's a graphic novel, and it's basically a collection of 29 stories about daring and really brave women from all different walks of life, all different places around the world, different time periods, and yeah, some of them are really famous and you probably know already a few, and then some are less known, and it was really fun to get to know them through their stories. The best piece of advice that I can give our lovely learners is always look for opportunities to grow and always believe in yourself.